Welcome back. It's Jordan. For those few of you that have subscribed, I thought I would put a quick update video together so that you don't think that I've given up on this thing, because I haven't. There's just been a lot going on. Life gets in the way. Work is very busy. But really, the garage is very busy. So let me just turn this around and show you. All right, so what you've got here is an extremely messy garage. But I've been to work. So I've got this wall mostly done with insulation here. I've got this wall mostly done with insulation. I've got this wall about halfway done, the top half. And then the back above the garage doors, I did those little chunks as well. So there's a lot of scraps left over, and then I had to get some more. I screwed up my order originally. I had actually measured it out all correctly, and then for whatever reason, when I went to actually add it to the cart, I added less than what I estimated. So I had to make the balance up. So that's all ready to go. So these are the full size sheets. I took them out of the rolls, and they'll go down here in the bottom. So it's funny, my wife tells me she's proud of me for doing this and then learning the skills. And if I'm perfectly honest, and what I've told her is, I would have been happy going the rest of my life not having these quote unquote skills of putting in insulation. It's not difficult at all. It's time consuming. It's kind of tedious work, but sure, yeah, I can do it. So let me kind of walk through what I'm doing. I'm not going to show you how I'm doing it because it's really not that hard, and anybody can do this. And I guess just future generations, if they're looking back, they can kind of see my thought process with this. I did watch some how-tos, but there are some tips that I thought were useful. So let me just cut to a photo here. You can kind of see. So once, all right, back up first. The insulation comes in rolls, right? And in those rolls, what you can do is you could just split the top and then peel them down. That makes it a lot easier to get them out. So as you pull down the bag, these all expand out. And then what I did was I've been leaving them out a few days to let them kind of puff up, because with insulation, if it's compressed, you lose some of your insulation ratings. So I'm just letting these kind of expand. Kudos for the pink stuff here. I mean, sometimes you just get some bags that are a little destroyed. The other painful part is some of them, that the glue on the bottom of the tape, of the paper, gets stuck to the other side, and then it gets all stupid. So that's to annoy with, but once you take it apart, it's not that bad. So anyways, cutting to this. So I got these tall walls, and one sheet covers, it doesn't quite get halfway. It goes a little bit more than halfway. So to get started, basically, you just stuff them in between the studs, all the way down, kind of stage it really. And then from there, you can grab the ladder, and you can do more than one at a time when you climb up the ladder, because I don't have any of that rolling baker's staging. I've just got this ladder. So once I get up to the top, I can do about 3 bays worth, and then get down, slide it over, go back up, do 3 more bays. So that's how I did the top half. And then my thought process with doing the bottoms was, if I can just do each bay essentially with 2 pieces, that gives less seams and less opportunity for there to be a gap that I've got to deal with some cold air coming through. So that was the thought process here. So each bay basically took 2 pieces of the roll, and then unfortunately that bottom section is actually slightly more than half. So what I was left with after doing all of those was a bunch of scraps that were not quite half the distance of the top. So these panels here is what I wound up doing, is just, you got 3 pieces. So I got some tape to add back into the weather seal to kind of seal those up. The other thing with stapling, so I had started here in the back middle with a hand stapler. Let me see if I can find it. And I just got a kind of a cheapo deal at Harbor Freight because again, it was cheap and the staples were cheap. And for the first few, no big deal. You know, you just pop it in and do it. The problem is after about 7 of these bays and that many rolls down, my hands started getting a little sore, you know. I sit at a desk all day, so I don't. And then to think about having to do every single one of these with that, I said, nah. I have an air compressor that my father bought me years ago, so that's what I set out to go and get a pneumatic stapler, which can use the same staples as that regular handgun. Where did I put the pneumatic one? Oh, there it is. So I will tell you, I would not attempt this without some sort of pneumatic or maybe even electric stapler. It's just, the speed in which you can do this, that compared to the manual one is night and day. This just hums right through it. The Harbor Freight staples, of course, cheap. This thing jams on them. You know, maybe it gets down to these little pieces left, and when it gets down to the little pieces, I don't know if the spring in the gun is not strong enough for them or what, but like anything bigger than this size of the Harbor Freight cheapo staples, it just jams. So I got the higher quality staples. I used Stanley originally at the hardware store. That's what they had. And then I underestimated dramatically how many staples I would be using. I had originally started with 2,000. I thought, oh, there's no way I'm going to go through 2,000 staples. I went through 2,000 staples on one wall. And you don't even need that many staples. It's crazy how quickly they add up. It's just sort of my ignorance there. Hopefully I'm not covering the speaker. So then I got these guys, and they're kind of like serrated, but these are working great, not jamming on me at all. And then it's cheap. It's like $10 for like 5,000 staples, or not even $10. I think it was like $8 or something like that. So that's made life a lot easier. And then to cut them, I had the insulation originally started on the floor, and then I learned pretty quickly that that was painful on my knees and my back and my legs. So then I just put it on my workbench, and I've been basically just using the tape measure on the corner here, measuring out how big I need. You put the wood down on top of it, and then you cut it with your blade. Super straightforward, super easy. I've been left with a lot of different scraps. I've been trying to be smart. This is basically all that's left of the original scraps. There's another small pile over there, I think. But that's basically it for scraps left over out of, I don't know how many bags, tons of bags, tons of insulation, and then all the new ones over there. So the scraps, I've been just trying to fill in the oddball sizes and stuff. And then I've got the rest of the corners, and then the interior corners of some of the walls here are too small, I think, to really get a good fill in with the leftovers. And I'm not sure I'll have enough scraps to fit in there anyways. But I do have some cans of insulation, which I plan on just shooting down there. And then I've got some cans of the insulation meant for doors and windows as well that I'll fill these gaps with. So I think, future Jordan will thank present day Jordan for all his work. He already is, really, because that says it's 55, and prior to doing any of the insulation, I was running about 4 or 5 degrees warmer. Right now it's 40 degrees outside. So obviously I got a lot more left to do, and I haven't heated this at all, but that's holding on to 15 degrees of warmth from just the sun during the day. It's later, the sun's down. That's just holding on to it. So that's amazing. I'm going to take that all day. It's not cold in here at all right now. So worth it, in my opinion. It is tedious work to do, though. All right, so obviously the garage is a pretty big mess right now. After the insulation is going to come, this pile of OSB, that'll be next. Again, not something I've ever done before. I'm not good with wood. at all. I'm pretty inexact with it, which I think with wood it's less forgiving than most things. So I got myself a little plug-in Hercules skill saw that I will use. I've got some horse benches to put the wood on, and I've got a little oscillating multi tool from Hercules as well, from Harbor Freight, that I'm going to use to cut the outlets, and that'll be the next project that I'm going to try. I would imagine that's going to take a little while. One thing that I told myself to do and then I wound up not doing it, and I regret it a little bit, was marking where all the power lines were as they run through. One thing that I can say for a fact is that it's below every one of these. I didn't have to make any room for outlet, any wires on the bottom sections of the insulation. I just did. So I know that at least from the first panel's perspective, the first panel of OSB will be above all of my outlets because those are low enough. And then from there, I'll be able to just run them across, and then I can mark where the outlets are for those. I did start marking the outlets on the back wall. And then the way the electrician did it, he just kind of went all over the place, and it wasn't straight across either. So I realized even marking them wasn't going to be good. And then once it's marked, obviously I'm going to be covering it with OSB. I'd have to mark the OSB as well. So I know that there's none running above that level, and if anything's going to get mounted, it'll be above that. And then if I do have to cut below, I can always remove the panel because I'm going to be screwing them in. I can always remove the panel and then just dig through to find out exactly where the wires are if I'm really that concerned about it. But I'm honestly not all that concerned about it. So you can see, like, it starts at one level over here, and then it just kind of raises up. But you can see how it's all below that first row of insulation, so I can at least judge from that perspective. Oh yeah, I wanted to bring up these coveralls as well. They're not trash. They're just hanging over the trash. Basically, I've been putting these on every day, saving myself a ton of time and a ton of cleaning, because you do get insulation all over you, which is a huge pain in the ass. I got that plus a mask, just because my wife and kids do have some sensitivity. They got asthma, and I just want to make sure that nobody gets irritated when I start adding laundry. I'll probably even just do that at a laundromat later on, just to be on the safe side. So, and then I moved everything into the center, including putting the lift on the casters and then rolling it over. I kind of wanted to see what that was like. That was not too bad. I will say, once it starts rolling, though, it wants to keep rolling. So, in my advice, in my opinion, if you get a big dog like this, a big lift like this, that you get some another pair of hands just to keep it from rolling, because it's heavy, obviously. You don't want it getting away from you. As you can see that. I have spare shift knobs, so I just drilled and tapped that out to the size and got rid of the little rubber red one that they give you. But the lift, I haven't really used the lift since I moved it here. There's just been no need. I've been using it kind of like a workbench, to be honest. So the other big update that I have yeah, so other than that, that's basically the progress on the garage. Happy with it, happy with myself getting out here and doing this. I'm only able to record tonight really because my wife's next door at church. So yeah, that's it. I want to get into some car content. I really want to get the garage set. I'm really looking forward to it. Now that it's paved, it feels like there's light at the end of the tunnel in terms of getting a car in here to work on it. And so it's really motivating me to get the last of the walls done, and then I can start bringing stuff in, setting things up, you know, making it feel more like a shop that I can do stuff in and not a shop that I'm building. And then I can get some car stuff going. I sat through a podcast, some 3800 guys the other day, and it really just started getting me motivated again to start working on the cars, getting things going. I want to start driving the cars. The weather's going to get warmer. It's going to get really nice. I'm really looking forward to getting that stuff going. So it's still it's early April at this point. Still a little cold. I mean, we got to get through to May before it really starts warming up. But if I can get all this work done, especially the work up top, anything like that, where it's going to get warmer up there, really want to get that done. So, yeah, that's it. Until next time.